I threw it all on a 0% credit card when I first started. I filled up, it was a $42,000 credit limit
Wow.
and it was 0% interest. And I filled it up with coaching, masterminds, my website, uh, travel,
Mm-hmm.
events, going to events, hotels, flights, all of it for investing directly into me.
Mm-hmm.
But by the end of that zero interest period, which I think was like 12 to 18, I think maybe 18 months, I think it was a Chase Freedom Unlimited. It was a personal card. It wasn't even a business card, which was a mistake that I learned at the time. If you're getting credit cards, put it in an LLC because it doesn't go against your personal credit.
Right.
But anyway, I filled up that card, $42,000. But before I ever paid a dime in interest, I paid off the whole card with income from the business that I was building. It's just, it was a big risk. And I hesitate to say that sometimes on podcasts because I don't want people to go out and pull out a credit card and make dumb decisions. But to me, it was like I was never buying new equipment and getting myself a MacBook and like, I wasn't spending my money on like fun, frilly like television gaming systems type things that I could have convinced myself I needed for my business.
Right.
I had a $60 USB microphone for the first 3 years of my podcast. You know what I mean? With a Zoom or Skype.
Yep. Me too.
That was it.
Me too.
So but I was 40 grand in on events and hotels and masterminds and relationships and like all these other things, which are the real things that are going to make sure that you actually have a business and a way to continue making money in the next 3 to 5 years.
Right.
So it was always a factor of like how to, like, once it worked, once the first time worked, where it was like, oh, I connected with John, we've hung out. Now I get invited to this event in Australia. I'm a speaker at this event in Australia at a podcasting event, and like all the other we had a speakers retreat afterwards, and I find myself hanging out. That's with Pat Flynn and Jordan Harbinger and all these other people that are like big names in that podcasting world. And now I'm just hanging out with me and my wife and like 8 or 9 other of these speakers because I met this one person who did this thing, who invited me to this thing, and I went to it. And I flew all the way to Australia for the first time to watch John speak and connect with podcasters that were there. And then that connected me to the event host who invited me back as a speaker the next year because he saw that my podcast was going well. It was just every single piece of that was just like, oh, this actually worked. So why don't I try doing that again and then again and then again?
Yep.
And then, the network just continues to expand because it becomes easier to add value once you become a more valuable individual.
Right.